So I posted this thing on my community page on YouTube where I said if anyone has questions I would do a Q&A. I didn't get a lot of questions just because I'm not a amazingly interesting person, or at least my channel is not that popular, it's not that big. So there's nobody asking questions, which is totally fine, but I guess I would allude to the thing that nobody truly asked for, but if I would miss Bulgaria, because I will leave in 4 months, and the answer is obviously yes. I will very, very dearly miss it, and like I perhaps mentioned before, I think I'll leave like at a good point where I am very much still in love with the country despite the faults that every country has. This is still an amazingly fabulous country, and I never meant to discredit anything about it. Like, the criticisms I have had were only sometimes to blow off steam, with some frustrations like you have anywhere, but I've often found that sometimes I get like some cabin fever as well. But then if I, like last week, go out with my friend Peter, uh, explore some natural sites, everything's pretty good. And then there's always the side note that makes you remember the country where you are, because we were in Bukovo hiking, for example, and suddenly we stumbled upon this radiation sign, because there used to be uranium mines. And then when you Google a bit about it, you read, oh, in some places there's like 15 to 20 times the maximum allowed dose of radiation, and you always realize, okay, they didn't close it well, they didn't put the signs, it's polluted, it's contaminated. You always have the slight hint of that things are perhaps not exactly as they should be in some regards, and that's the things that you need to overlook, like the state of a lot of the roads. Even when we got there, the roads are just not that great. There was trash being dumped, although that's improving. The downsides are always ever present. Just as any other country, there's downsides, just like in my country as well. But then the upsides, they've always been way, way stronger for me in an overwhelming sense. And I would say just the exceptional beauty of the country has never really let me go. And at the same time, I think just the beauty of the people, because when I sit here, I just see people walking around all dressed in summer colors. People and ladies, they dress with short skirts, they dress attractively. Everybody feels free to be themselves in a sense, and they're safe from any form of harassment in the street. Nobody will say anything to you or ask for a phone number. You are safe to walk around here, and you are safe pretty much to be who you want. It is a big city, and I've always felt accommodated for here and catered for, in the sense that people have always accepted me and let me live in peace. So I'm actually extremely grateful for my 10 years here. And just because I've spent my 30 somewhere else does not mean that I would have wanted to spend my 20 somewhere else, because I can only confirm that spending my 20s in Bulgaria was an absolute godsend. I think that pretty much summarizes it. It has been a very good step for both my personal development, because I'm just a completely different person than I was 10 years ago. I've fought some personal battles. I came here after being bullied in my country, which just because of being gay. Apparently, you may not know, but the Netherlands is not an extremely tolerant country. So I came here after that. I developed anxiety disorders because of it. Eventually I let that go, and now I'm freely and open myself, which I've actually started to do right when I came here. I grew into the person that I am today, and I have a lot to thank Bulgaria for in that regard. I've been welcomed, I've been appreciated. Yeah. So all in all, I just think that it's a fascinating country to spend your 20s, 30s. you can outgrow it, just like you can outgrow any other place. If I would have spent my whole 20s in Berlin, I would be sick of it. In Vienna or in Cologne or even in London, you would grow absolutely sick of it. And that then comes in combination with the horrible housing prices, which are increasing here as well, but the crime, the dirt, the filth of larger cities and whatever, which here I find a very manageable city and country where if you have some sense of adventure, you can overlook some rough edges. Like I've just mentioned, you can deal with a bit of the uncertainty, of the anxiety that you're not exactly in a Western country. But in many ways it is actually better, in some ways it's worse. And that's something that you can leisurely find out for yourself while you live here. And I think that's just a wonderful thing of being European, that you can just go and move to another country and you just settle wherever you want. And you develop yourself completely. You get a completely new perspective on the world. And that's what's made me a lot better person, because now I was reading actually some comments on newspaper yesterday where Dutch people were speaking about Albania, and they said, why would you go there? It's unsafe. You can get robbed by bandits on the road. And I was just thinking, look how ignorant these people are about Eastern Europe. Because the kidnappings or the robberies on the road actually happen in France and Italy and Spain, not in Albania. That's been the 90s, that's decades ago. That doesn't happen at all. Doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in Bulgaria either, obviously, but you can get robbed in France at a gas station. In Bulgaria, you will not have that. You can get your car broken into when you park at Gizarai or the base in Kalova, for example. That happens, but you will not get mugged anywhere in this country, unless you're with the same luck of winning the lottery. So, and I was just reading these comments from Dutch people about how ignorant they are about this part of the world, and sometimes I have my criticisms about Bulgaria. You know, I say, oh, this and that's not that great, this is annoying, that's annoying. But then when I read these comments from Dutch people about other countries, sometimes how ignorant they are about the world, despite claiming they are so open-minded and world travelers when they're totally not, I just cringe at them, and I become sort of patriotic about Bulgaria. You do not get mugged, your phone will not get stolen. Someone could run up behind me, steal my phone, but it doesn't really happen here. It just doesn't. And these Dutch people, sometimes they need to have a close look at themselves. I know it's mostly the older generation, but the world has changed, and it's really not like it used to be.